Somewhere in the middle of the tax guide, there is a chapter that does something the rest of the document does not. It stops explaining rules and just answers questions, one item at a time, alphabetically. Is this income? Yes. Is this? No. And reading it end to end is the fastest way I have found to understand how a document like this actually decides things. The guide runs to 142 pages. The chapter is 8 of them, about 11,342 words, and it is called Other Income, which I checked from the running head rather than assuming. Every quote you are about to see was verified against the page it came from before this was rendered. 6 entries, and what each one says. Jury duty pay you receive must be included in your income. So must kickbacks, side commissions, push money, or similar payments you receive. And if a travel agency gives you a free tour for organizing a group of tourists, you must include its value in your income. One entry on the list is genuinely strange. Income from illegal activities, such as money from dealing illegal drugs, must be included in your income. That is a real sentence in the guide, sitting alphabetically between hobby losses and fishing rights, in the same flat tone as everything else. Now the part that gets left out. The same chapter says something is not income 29 times. A gift or an inheritance is not included in your income. If an employer reimburses your trip to a job interview, the amount you receive is generally not taxable. It is a list that decides both ways, and only one direction ever goes viral. Which is the actual problem here. The chapter is called Other Income. If you are wondering whether something counts, the answer is in an alphabetical list under a heading that warns you of nothing. So go and read the list rather than guessing. That is what one public guide says on the pages shown, and it is not tax advice. For anything real, use a professional. Because one direction alone would be a lie. I could have made this whole video out of the drug money line. It is true, it is verified, and it would travel further than anything else here. But a chapter that says something is income 57 times also says something is not income 29 times, and showing you only the first half would leave you more confident and less correct. Gifts and inheritances are generally not income. Money reimbursing your travel to a job interview is generally not taxable. If I cut those, you would walk away believing the tax guide is a machine that says yes, and then you would overreport something you did not need to. It is not that the answers are hidden. Nothing here is hidden. The sentences are plain, they are alphabetical, and they are exactly where a reference document should put them. The problem is the label on the door. Other income is a filing category, not a warning, and a filing category is written for the person maintaining the document rather than the person who needs it. So the chapter that answers the question almost everybody has is the chapter nobody opens, because its name gives you no reason to. 3 things, and the last one matters most. Go to the list before you go to a search engine, because the list is the source that a search result is paraphrasing. Read both directions. The entries that say no are as useful as the ones that say yes, and they are the ones nobody repeats. And notice that the whole chapter is written as if you already knew to look for it. This one needs saying clearly. Everything in this video is a quotation from a public document with the page it came from, and that is all it is. I am not a tax professional, and this is not tax advice. Tax turns on facts I do not have, where you live, what the money was for, what else happened that year. And a guide is a starting point rather than an answer. What I would take from it is smaller and more durable than any single entry on the list. When a document has a chapter that answers your exact question, the reason you have not read it is almost never that it was hidden. It is that it was called something boring. Read the boring chapter. For anything real, use a professional. One of these every day, on the paperwork nobody enjoys. Subscribe if that's useful to you.